Hello, everybody. Yes, here we are. Thank you for inviting me today to share this half an hour with you. I am Paolo Glisenti, the General Commissioner of Italy for Expo 2020 Dubai, meaning, in more simple words, that I am in charge of organizing, planning and organizing the participation of Italy to the next World Expo, the Universal Expo, which has been postponed, as you can imagine, by 1 year and will open on October 1st, 2021. I'm very pleased to be here with you today, very pleased. I have many reasons of interest to share with you. And I will start by spending a couple of minutes on Expo 2020 Dubai. Expo 2020 Dubai is the first World Exposition to be held in an Arab country. In fact, it's the first one of the entire area, so-called MENASA area, from Southeast Asia to Middle East, North Africa. So it's the beginning of a process which will involve and engage countries that so far have been only host of and guest of major global events. Expo Dubai is going to be the first global event after the pandemic of COVID-19 to be held at the end of next year. And this by itself, it's a point that should make us reflect on the opportunities and challenges that this will pose for everybody, including you. Second point of interest is the theme of Expo 2020 Dubai, connecting minds, creating the future. This is a very important theme, was important when the United Emirates decided to call it this way, but it's going to be even more important next year, while we will hopefully experience the beginning of a new era in the globalization process, a new time of globalization. And I think that the theme Connecting Minds, Creating the Future is the most appropriate and challenging theme that we could face next year, meaning that the team will engage everybody to discuss the social, economic, and cultural shared values that are going to be generated by connectivity, by connections, by the raising again of multilateralism, solidarity, and cooperation to fight human inequalities, economic injustice, unsustainable innovations. It's going to be a very appropriate time and a very appropriate theme for discussion. And in the original plans of the organizer of Expo, which is going to be, the plans are going to be confirmed fully, the millennials and the Generation X were the target audience of Expo Dubai, and they will be even more so the target audience next year. So that's the reason, the first reason why I'm very happy to be here and to share this with you. It's going to be a new global event. What I mean by new, the crisis we've been experiencing will lead the organizers and the international participants like Italy to make of Expo Dubai a new global event in terms of the format, the themes, the content, the programming, to really address the new different times we'll be living in next year and in the future. Our guess is that it's going to be an hybrid digital and non-digital event in physical, with physical person visitors, and also millions of visitors engaged by digital platforms and connections and connectivities around the world. This is going to be an interesting experiment which, in my view, will change forever the mode and the style and the content of global events. Global events are going to be even more important as we move forward in the future, but they're going to be differently organized, set, and put in place. It's not going to be anymore a story of global events counting the million of visitors entering their gates. But it's going to be an interesting global events hybrid, as I said before, engaging also millions of people in their homes, in their offices, in their countries. So that is going to be really globally, and this will call for the organizers and for the participants to put in place, first of all, a hybrid platform capable of, in my view, broadcasting in real time to the rest of the world the events, the initiatives, the content, what is going to happen on the site, in the pavilions. But also not only broadcasting out and sending out content, but also receiving content and participants by engaging them into a truly interactive creation of the event every day. It's going to be an interesting challenge, and Expo Dubai, in my view, Expo Dubai in 2021 will set the mode for changing global events format and organization forever, if I may say so, forever. Secondly, it's going to impact on the themes that need to be chosen for this type of hybrid worldwide experienced events. They are going to be more on multilateralism, more on cooperation, more on multidisciplinarity, more on multisectoral integration of skills and competence than anything else. If I think of previous expos where countries went to show their own identity, their own national identity, their products, their own national artists, and so forth and so forth, this is going to be very different in my view. From now on, we're going to see really an integration of experience and showcasing from all over the world at the same time, in the same place, in and out, through connectivities and various connections. Also, as I said before, is going to be an occasion for setting out the themes and the content that can be discussed on a global basis at the same time. I said multilateralism, but I want to insist on the theme of multidisciplinarity and multisectorial skill and competence, which I think pertains more to your audience, to your group of people, to your community, than anybody else. And so that's the main reason why I'm very happy to be here. And I also am very happy to tell you that Italy intends to facilitate what I want to propose to be the first campus party village to be set up in an expo, in a World Expo. We will lead a group of many countries on education. We will take students, we will engage students from all over the world in activities on the site, but also in the next few months, in anticipation of Expo, we will launch probably digital challenges, engaging students from all over the world to participate in a challenging mode, so to speak, into activities that can be then brought and discussed and experienced and shared at Expo Dubai next year. So that I'm here to propose to you to come to Expo and to rely on Italy as the leading country addressing and organizing education activities in Expo Dubai, and possibly again to set up a campus party village with us near our pavilion to share these ideas and this experience with other students from all over the world. I think it's a great opportunity, and I would like to think that my participation today to your discussion is the beginning of a process which will take us a long way forward, because Expo will set the motion and the time and the context for making of multidisciplinarity, skills and competence, and the new formative, educative offer and plans and methods that have to be reassessed as the major core theme of the event. So also one more thing I would like to tell you is about the Italian Pavilion. The Italian Pavilion is the only one to be set up with an educational lab and a cultural lab linked for streaming activities to all over the world and to other multimedia activity for students from the Emirates, Arab countries, and so forth and so forth. And I will tell you that it's going to be a tremendous, memorable visitor experience, not only for students, but for everybody who will come to see us. And I have a short video to show you, to give you a sense of why it's going to be so memorable, the experience of visiting our pavilion. So I would like to ask our friends to put the video on that we can share, and then
il Pavilione Italia continua la sua strada, continua il suo viaggio, continua la sua navigazione. Il cantiere avanza, ma soprattutto avanzano tutte le novità che ci eravamo immaginato e che cerchiamo di realizzare.
Nell'ultimo anno il cantiere non si è mai fermato e oggi possiamo già vedere i primi risultati del nostro progetto. Un grande edificio leggero, tecnologico e sostenibile.
È un momento davvero entusiasmante per quanto riguarda la costruzione del sito del Pavilion Italia a Dubai. Dopo un primo periodo infatti in cui le opere si sono sostanzialmente concentrate al di sotto del livello del terreno, ad oggi iniziamo a intravedere quelle che sono le geometrie future del Pavilion Italia. Sono state realizzate infatti buona parte delle strutture metalliche che sosterranno la grande duna di sabbia che ospiterà gli spazi dell'Exhibit e sono state innalzate molte delle colonne alte oltre 20 metri che sosterranno la grande copertura, la grande onda che coprirà gli spazi espositivi del Pavilione Italia.
Ad oggi il padiglione risulta a buon punto, abbiamo eretto all'incirca 15 tonnellate di acciaio, ci sono circa 80 colonne già messe in posa, di cui 29 sono quelle che raggiungeranno le catenarie che andranno a formare la struttura che sarà visibile.
Il prossimo scenario, il prossimo obiettivo è quello, l'imminente sarà quello quindi di portare a completamento tutta la parte delle strutture, quindi che come vedete anche alle mie spalle insomma ci sono, le strutture comunque stanno andando avanti, quindi sarà completare tutta la parte strutturale compresa la copertura che è composta da questi scafi.
Nel suo edificarsi c'è stata la necessità di realizzare per esempio nuovi materiali che hanno origine le più strane, dalla farina delle alghe ai fondi di caffè forniti per esempio da Lavazza, alla polvere d'arancio. Con questi materiali si realizzeranno muri, passerelle, strutture. Tutto questo realizzato da aziende di punta dell'Italia come Mappei, attraverso cui cerchiamo di arrivare a un'architettura che tocca tutti i nostri sensi.
Con il contributo di Fincantieri abbiamo appena realizzato il primo modello delle 3 navi. Nelle prossime settimane quelle 3 imbarcazioni, verniciate con i colori del gruppo Boero, andranno a formare quello che dall'alto sarà il più grande tricolore della storia d'Italia. Ci vediamo con tutti voi a Dubai a ottobre 2021.
Okay, hope you enjoyed it. It's the work in progress of a large pavilion, memory experience. I'm here to answer questions if you have, so that I can explain better the opportunities that we would like to share with you. And again, I stopped before announcing that we are about to launch a major education program for all students around the world through a series of education challenges that we will launch soon, so that you can be part of this process with us over the next months, even before Expo Dubai begins. And this is going to be a long process, a long, challenging, fantastic way forward that we can share together. And I really hope you'll be with us to give us your sense of participation, and also to make sure that digitalizing, hybridizing big global events is not only going to be the broadcasting out of content, but is the sharing and the co-producing of content, an engagement which leads well over the space of shared information, shared knowledge, but gets into producing knowledge and competence and skills together. So it's a much more engaging and fascinating model that we try to launch and propose to you and to Expo next year. I'm here for any ideas that you want to share with me. I'm glad, and make sure to be available to you and to your colleagues in the next few weeks. I see questions from David. The first large, David asked, when do you see the first large events happening? With a large audience, I don't see international events of any meaningful size happening before spring, or I would say summer next year, when hopefully the vaccine will be available and people will start traveling again. In that sense, the Tokyo Olympics of 2020, now 2021, in July, due to start in July, will really mark the restart, the beginning of the new global events scenario. One more thing, of course, that we need to have under control is the air traffic and the possibility for people to travel. As much as we can move on hybrid platforms, we still need visitors to come, and participants, sponsors, ambassadors. So I would say spring, summer next year. Chiara is asking, how is this relationship between countries taking part into Expo 2020 managed during this particular time? Well, in fact, I tell you, Chiara, it's an interesting point, because we, given this particular time, we have strengthened our relationship with many countries. Has been a reaction to the trouble, the difficulties that we've been facing, to the fear of being left out from the world. But I tell you, it's been an interesting restart of a strong networking with other participant countries from all over the world, sharing ideas and content, and sharing ideas about what we could do together next year in Dubai at Expo. So that there's been the beginning of a new different planning of our activities that are no more national only, but are truly going to be multilateral, multinational. So it has been a really positive legacy of the COVID-19 experience that we have made lately. That's a very good point, Karen. How will the students be engaged in such challenge-based learning activities? How has the scenario changed with the pandemic? Well, I tell you, we first of all, we have been convinced by what has happened and what is happening, that students-related activities needs to be shared, needs to be on widely participated platforms. There is no more national Italian or French or English alone scenario for students' activities. It's going to be a global approach to students and teachers' activities. We're going to we're going to have many events in which we will put together teachers from different countries sharing their experiences during the COVID-19 pandemic, and sharing their new model of teaching, of educating, which is a process that has started, and it's going to be interesting to see how these models and ideas can be shared and produced in this way, a common approach or a combined approach. So again, the pandemic has really forced the process, which was in a way already ongoing, into a much faster and stronger scenario. Lindita Kumani asks, can you please share how the physical presence in Expo in times of Corona is going to be managed? The Expo book fair was cancelled because of the outbreak of the pandemic. Well, nobody knows exactly, as you know, what the situation is going to be in October next year. But for sure, the physical presence in Expo is going to be managed with a lot of attention and care to security, distancing, and so a less chaotic assembling of people, probably fewer entertaining events which need to be put on stage with an audience in place. But it's the authorities, the Emiratis authorities, together with the organizational, the World Wealth Organization, are planning ways of putting the Expo under strict control and security organization, so that if Expo will take place, it will take place in a secure and safety manner. And also this will be an interesting testing for future global events. How safety and security is going to be a major theme, not only an organizational theme, but something to be seen and discussed and shared. In fact, I like to say something which sounds like a light comment, but let me put it this way. The Emiratis started a few years ago launching Expo 2020 Dubai as the greatest show on earth. If any of you have seen their trailers and their advertising, it was called the greatest show on earth. I would like to suggest that it's called the safest show on earth. This would be an interesting first time to call an event the safest event in the world, without taking anything away from entertaining, educating, and experiencing. Thank you. Julia, Italy, due to COVID-19, was forced to start the process of adaptation sooner than the rest of Europe. Can Italy act as a pioneer and set a real example for a new digitalized school system? Yes, Julia, this is exactly what I was trying to say, at the beginning. Italy has taken the lead of a group of 25 countries participating in Expo, which have decided to make of education their priority, their principal theme of their participation in Expo. Italy is the leading country of this large group. It goes from Australia to New Zealand to France to UK, Canada, and so forth. So it's a very widely spread group. But also, as I said before, Italy would like to take the lead in helping organize the first campus party village at Expo, with your help and your participation. And Italy is going to be the first country launching in the next few weeks what I called digital challenges. So a long way to go to Expo, made of digital challenges and competitions among students from all over the world. We have already selected a number of mentors that will conduct, support, organizing these digital challenges to which you will be all invited. And I think that this will make this marathon, the digital marathon to Expo, will make Italy a leading country in digitalized school systems in the future, at least in helping putting together ideas, competence, skills, and students from many, many countries. Expo was postponed just like the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Are there or will there be any connections between the two events? That's a very interesting point. All my professional life, I have dedicated, or most of my professional life, to large events, global events. Now, there is a connection, but also a major difference between the Olympics and Expo. The connection is the timing. The Olympics is due to start in July. The Expo is due to start on October 1st. So the two events are going to be closely linked in terms of organizational issues, timing, and so forth and so forth. But there is a major difference. The Olympics is a television event. The Olympics is not anchored on the number of spectators on the site, in the stadiums. The Olympics are shown on television screens and on social medias and on the webs all over the world. So the success of the Olympics is, in terms of spectators and participants, is not a physical element of spectators being there. But the issue with Tokyo, while in fact Expo relies entirely to the number of visitors that are going to be there in person. So these are two different events, very different. The only thing that makes the Olympics more complicated now is that the Olympics require games and challenges and for athletes to qualify for the Olympics in the months before the Olympics, so that the success and the possibility of the Tokyo Olympic to take place in July relies on whether in January, February, March, April, and May, competitions can be held around the world for qualifying athletes to take part in the Olympics. While, of course, the Expo starts on October 1st, and what needs to be there by October 1st and not before. Is there any other questions that you want to ask me? I think we have exhausted our time. I want to thank you again for sharing this experience with you. I say hello to all the students that are connected now. I wish to meet you in person, if I may, in Expo. Please come to Expo with us, but start our show next few weeks by participating in our digital challenges. Be with us, enter in our community, help us setting the preconditions to have a campus party village at Expo on site a year and a half from now. Thank you again, and I hope to see you soon, in person or virtually connected. Bye-bye.